DL Hughley just dropped a wild bombshell saying Nelly owes Donald Trump a whole $1 million.
This isn't a campaign. This isn't the RNC. I'm not out on the political campaign. I didn't get none of that 1.5.
Does Nelly come back to St. Louis and visit?
Come on, man. He always say, "Louis, but only at the casino." That's where he lose all his money at. And then he go down there on the dub and get his coat.
Yeah, you heard that right. DL claimed that the same man who told the world to ride with me might now be riding on a debt, and not to the IRS or some bank, but to Trump himself. The internet went absolutely nuts.
Nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck one of you Uncle Tom for doing it. Which one of you gonna do it first? I was the one that performs for himself.
People didn't know whether to laugh, cry, or call cap, because if DL's telling the truth, Nelly's not just broke, he's embarrassed. But if DL's bluffing, then this might be one of the boldest shots ever fired in gossip history. It all started when DL went live on his show, talking about fake friends, celebrity egos, and how fame humbles people real quick.
Nelly, congratulations for that 1.5 million you got for that show.
Then out of nowhere, he dropped Nelly's name and said, "These rappers love to act like bosses, but half of them owe somebody. I know for a fact one of them owes Trump $1 million, boom." Silence. The internet exploded after that. He didn't even need to say the name twice. Everyone knew who he meant. Within minutes, clips spread all over TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Headlines read, DL Hughley exposes Nelly's secret debt to Trump. Fans started digging up old receipts, tax problems, label beef, lawsuits, and suddenly it didn't sound so crazy anymore. How you think Ashanti hit him up after hearing that?
Wait, that's not what I'm saying at all. That's why I'm not telling you who to vote for. But what I'm saying is that he's the president of the United States. He's not the candidate for the United States. He's the president.
Before we even get into whether this story's true or not, let's talk about why it shook the internet so hard. Nelly ain't just some random rapper. This man was a diamond certified legend of the 2000s.
He come back to St. Louis and visit?
Come on, man. He always say, "Louis, but only at the casino." That's where he lose all his money at. And then he go down there on the dub and get his right, and he go over there on Shreve and get his perks, and then he go down there and get his exit. He be at all the dope spots. He's getting and shit. But but he always get it on credit. Like he still don't get no money for that. Okay, everything he get off his love, all because he Nelly. That's why I'm up on no he up yet. That's why but he need to give me my 50 million. That's why I'm. You saw he get caught with the exit, so you know I ain't cap. You saw that. Yeah, he go in St. Louis, get his little drugs, and go there and lose all his money to the casino. Right? That's what my 50 million at. My 50 million down in that casino. Stop playing on me. Stop playing on me. Down, baby. Stop playing.
So Nelly spends all his money. Spent all his money. How are you gonna get your money from him if he's broke?
Casino. I want the Masters game. You don't get it. It ain't about the money. I want the Masters. I want what's mine. See, he ain't gonna be able to pay me. His card gonna decline, and when his card decline, the Masters is mine. Stop playing with me. I want the house. I want everything. I want Ashanti, gang. Ashanti look good on me. Stop playing with me. How you think Ashanti and his son?
Chart-topping hits like Hot and Hair, Country Grammar, and Dilemma had the whole world singing. He was money, fame, and clean success all wrapped in one. He wasn't no street rapper. He was the face of crossover superstardom, the guy who made the Midwest cool. So when people heard that man supposedly owes Donald Trump $1 million, it hit like hearing Michael Jordan rents his sneakers. It just didn't sound real. But that's exactly why the story exploded, because DL Hughley ain't some random blogger stirring the pot. He's a veteran, respected, connected, and when DL talks, people stop and listen, even if they don't like it. So when he said Nelly owes Trump, it wasn't just gossip, it was a statement. Now, let's rewind a bit. Why Trump? Why Nelly? What's the link? Turns out this mess runs deeper than just money. Back in the early 2000s, when Trump was expanding his empire beyond politics, Nelly was quietly floating in those same circles. Charity galas, sponsorship deals, even low-key real estate moves involving celebrities. This connection ain't random. It's history resurfacing.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass gonna be the first one to do it. I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck one of you.
Rumor has it, Nelly got mixed up in one of those luxury ventures that went left when Trump's company suddenly pulled out. Word on the street says there were unpaid fees, missing investments, and quiet settlements that never made the headlines. Nothing ever confirmed, but insiders been whispering for years that Nelly's camp took a serious loss from a deal tied to Trump's network. Now here comes DL Hughley in 2025 bringing that ghost back up, and it hit like a reminder and a revelation. DL didn't just call it a bad investment, he called it a debt, straight up. He said, that boy owed money to Trump and still ain't paid it. Then he added, that's why you don't see him talking politics no more. Ooh, that one stung. And the timing couldn't have been worse for Nelly. People were already side-eyeing his finances after that tax drama a few years ago. Remember when fans streamed Hot and Hair Raid nonstop to help him pay off back taxes? That became internet history. Fans literally boosted his bag just to keep him afloat. But then came more whispers, label debts, lawsuits, and failed investments. Sure, Nelly's been smiling in interviews, vibing with Ashanti, and killing nostalgia tours, but the money talk never really went away. So when DL dropped $1 million and Donald Trump in the same breath, it hit like a live wire. The internet went full detective mode, digging through old footage, business filings, charity events, and Trump-linked deals. They found pics of Nelly at Trump Tower, records of him performing at a private Trump event in the early 2000s, and even talk of a check that supposedly never cleared. None of it actually confirmed the $1 million claim, but it definitely got people thinking. Like, why was Nelly even doing business with Trump to begin with? And why is DL bringing it up now? Is this about politics or something personal? See, DL Hughley's been one of the loudest anti-Trump voices in comedy. He's called Trump a racist, a con artist, a fraud, you name it. So if DL discovered that a rapper he once respected had ties or debts with Trump, of course he was gonna air it out loud and clear. This wasn't just about money, it was about loyalty. DL even said, these dudes talk about the struggle, the hood, the people, but when the bills come due, they run to Trump Tower. Don't preach to me about the streets when you borrowing from a man who don't even like you. Brutal. And that line hit Nelly's image like a wrecking ball. For years, Nelly's been that cool, clean, easygoing success story, the Midwest star who didn't need controversy to shine. Now DL's painting him like a sellout, a man who owes a known racist and stays quiet about it. Fans are torn. Half the internet says DL's just chasing clout and throwing shade, while the other half swears he's doing what he always does, speaking uncomfortable truths no one else dares to say. Nelly hasn't said much publicly, at least not yet, but folks close to him claim the whole story's false and inflammatory. They say DL's just stirring gossip with zero receipts. But let's be real, once a story like this hits the internet, denial barely matters. The damage is already done. People always believe what sounds dramatic, and Nelly owes Trump $1 million sounds crazy dramatic. But let's dig a little deeper. Because if there's even a hint of truth here, it says a whole lot about the industry itself. Let's be real, tons of artists go broke in silence. They don't post the bad months. They don't tweet when the money dries up. You'll never see a caption saying, yo, my tour flopped, or the label cut my budget. Nope, all you see are the highlights, Bentleys, champagne, and backstage photos. What they don't show you are the maxed out credit cards, the unpaid loans from management, and those checks that bounce harder than basketballs. You don't see the shady promoters who never paid up, the business managers who vanished with the taxes, or those shiny 5-year deals that look rich but pay crumbs. And DL Hughley, love him or hate him, might have just cracked that whole fake image wide open. Because his message wasn't really about Nelly alone. It was about everyone hiding behind filters and fame. The rappers, the comedians, the influencers, the whole machine built on illusion, selling success while barely surviving behind the scenes. DL said it plain, you think these rappers rich, you think these comedians own them mansions, they leasing everything, one bad deal and they crying about taxes. That line hit the culture like a slap because deep down, everyone knows it's true. Behind the diamonds, the cars, and those rented penthouses, most of these stars are walking a tightrope of debt. They're not rich, they're leveraged, living off advances, label credit, tour loans, and merch fronts. You see them flexing $100,000 chains on Instagram, but you don't see the fine print saying they still owe their label 5 albums before a single real payday hits. You see the Rolls Royce, but you don't see that monthly payment that's higher than most people's mortgages. The truth is, most of these artists ain't millionaires. They're regular folks living million-dollar lifestyles they can't really afford without the machine holding them up. And when that machine pulls the plug, it's game over. That's what DL was really saying when he brought up Nelly's name. He wasn't just putting one man on blast, he was exposing a pattern, a whole cycle, the way the industry builds stars to look untouchable, then lets them fall apart in silence once the lights go out. When the money gets tight in this business, nobody tells the truth. They double down on the illusion. They start booking every appearance, dropping random features, doing brand collabs just to keep up the image. But behind those smiles, it's straight up panic. That's why DL's words hit like a punch, because everyone in the game knows at least one person drowning quietly. A rapper who can't pay their team. A comedian who used to sell out arenas but now doing small club gigs. A singer who lost it all after one flop. DL just said what they all whisper behind closed doors. And some fans think DL wasn't even mad at Nelly. They say he was really taking another swing at Trump. One tweet said, DL not mad Nelly broke. He mad Nelly touched Trump's money. Maybe that's true, because DL's whole image is built on calling out hypocrisy, no matter who's involved. But if you really listen between the lines, there's another layer, jealousy. Not about the cash, but about legacy. DL's always been respected, but he's never been loved the way Nelly was loved. DL's never had the music, the hits, or the kind of cultural pull that Nelly had, so maybe calling him out was his way of grabbing a little extra spotlight. Whatever his motive was, the result's the same. Now everybody's talking about it. The memes came flying fast. Hot in debt, must be the money, country grammar tax edition. Fans didn't hold back one bit, but that's the internet. The second a rumor drops, it turns into content. And that's the part that really hurts, because true or not, this story changes how people look at Nelly. Once someone calls you broke, that label sticks. You could make $10 million tomorrow, but folks will still remember the headline, not the truth. Let's be real though, Nelly's not broke. He's still selling out tours, rocking stages, and running business moves from liquor deals to fitness brands. But that doesn't mean he's not juggling something behind the scenes. Every celeb has debts, contracts, and favors owed. They just keep it low-key. DL just pulled the curtain back, and that's what makes this whole situation so wild. Because this ain't really about money, it's about pride. It's about how celebs front success while hiding the cracks behind the curtain. It's about how fame makes you look rich, even when your wallet says otherwise. And now the entire culture's locked in, waiting to see what happens next. Will Nelly respond? Will Trump speak up? Will DL double down? You already know how this game goes. Once one truth slips out, 10 more follow right behind it. Other names start getting dragged, other secrets get exposed, and suddenly the whole industry's on edge. DL might have just lit a fire bigger than he ever planned. But when the dust settles, this story boils down to one thing: image versus reality. DL Hughley just exposed what most people refuse to face: that fame doesn't guarantee freedom. That money can disappear as fast as the lights cut off. That the same celebrities smiling on camera might be drowning in debt when the cameras stop rolling. And maybe, just maybe, that's why Nelly's staying quiet. Because sometimes silence isn't guilt, it's self-preservation. So what do you think? Did DL really drop the truth, or is he just stirring the pot for attention? Is Nelly actually in debt to Trump, or is this just another internet illusion built for clicks? Whatever the case, one thing's for sure: this story's far from over. Not when money, pride, and politics are tangled up in the mix. In hip-hop and Hollywood, beefs fade, but the receipts, they never die. If you're feeling this breakdown and want more raw, deep dives into the craziest stories shaking the culture, hit that like button, share this video, and drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Dripzine for more unfiltered stories straight from the heart of the culture.